Well, we're going to begin this meeting today. Thank you, everybody, for attending, for your attendance. And hope everybody is doing well and staying safe. The San Miguel County Board of Commissioners will hold a regular monthly meeting on Tuesday, May 12th, 2020, beginning at 2 p.m. The meeting will be remote and can be viewed online at www.co.sanmiguel.nm.us. During the meeting, a County Board of Finance meeting will take place. Notice to peoples with disabilities. If you're an individual with a disability who is in need of a reader, amplifier, qualified sign language interpreter, or any form of auxiliary aid or service to attend or participate in the hearing or meeting, please contact the San Miguel County Manager's Office at 505-425-9333 at least 1 week prior to the meeting or as soon as possible. Public documents, including the agenda and minutes, can be provided in various accessible formats. Please contact the Commission Administrator at either of the above numbers if a summary or any or other type of accessible format is needed. Notice for today's meeting was published on the Las Vegas Optic on May 1st, 2020. The notice was also posted on the San Miguel website at www.co.sanmiguel.nm.us on April 29th, 2020. At least 72 hours in advance of the meeting, the following agenda for today's meeting was posted and available for public inspection on the San Miguel County website at www.co.sanmiguel.nm.us and also available in hard copy at the office of the San Miguel County Manager's Office. Agenda for today, call to order. Can I have a roll call, please?
Madam Chair Maria Martinez.
Here.
Vice Chair Chris Nahad, sorry about that.
Yes, present.
Varela.
Presente.
Commissioner Max Trujillo.
Here.
Commissioner Harold Garcia.
Here.
We have a quorum. Can we please have Commissioner Varela lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico,
see a symbol of perfect friendship among United
cultures.
Thank you, Commissioner Varela. Do I have a motion for approval of the minutes for April 14th, 2020?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
there's an error on the minutes. I wasn't present at that meeting, but item 8. Yeah, item 8, the last paragraph of item 8 shows that I made a motion, and I think that part of item 8 has to be removed.
So it's item 8, the CDBG post-project selection public meeting. Is that the one you're saying?
Yes, the last item on that particular, the last paragraph of that item, it mentions me on there, and I wasn't at the meeting, so we're gonna have to remove that.
Okay,
Wait, Madam Chair?
Commissioner Varela?
Yeah, excuse me, we have approval of the agenda was the first item before the approval of minutes. So I don't know if we wanted to go back to approval of agenda before we go.
My apologies.
Sure, no problem. Point of order.
I'm having some issues with my computer, so I hope I don't lose everybody.
Oh, you don't have a head. Oh, there you go.
I'm trying to get it focused. So if I lose service, Commissioner Varela, Commissioner Nahad, will you please take over?
Yes, I will.
Can you take over for now till I try to figure out what's going on with this computer?
Right, what we needed to do before, prior to this, according to Commissioner Varela, we need approval of the agenda. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda for today's meeting?
So
So
move,
moved.
Okay, I have a motion to approve the agenda by Commissioner Varela, second by Harold Garcia. Commissioner Harold Garcia, all in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, so the second issue was the approval of the minutes. Any other additions or corrections?
Mr. Chair, motion to approve with the added change.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Garcia with the amendments, with the changes. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried. Under the next item is public input forum. Do we have anybody signed up for public input? Having nobody signed up for public input, I believe we'll move on to the regular order. Under item number 1, we have a COVID-19 update being presented today by Mr. Leo Maestas, Emergency Manager, and under the Run Fire Chief. Proceed, gentlemen. Hello, Mr. Maestas.
Sorry
There
about
you are.
Good
Okay.
morning, good afternoon, Commissioners and Madam Chair. I want to give you a quick update on COVID-19 at this point. The county or the DOH's website reflects only 7 cases, and actually we're at 8 cases. So we'll see if it populates this afternoon for that last case. As of yesterday, the state has opened up testing to all personnel that are in these types of work fields, which would include any type of government employee, which is state, county, municipality, or federal. If you work in the utilities, industry, construction workers, grocery, pharmacy employees, retail, wholesale, and any food services, that would be, you do not have to meet the criteria for testing. You can just call the public health office and set up a time to drive in and get swabbed. Also, the hospital is now doing the same criteria that our public health office is doing, so you do not need a doctor's referral to go to our Alta Vista Hospital for testing, and they're doing it Monday through Friday from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock. There is some question as to how do we know when you've been tested positive and when it's safe for you to re-enter the public. So let me kind of go over this real quick. People with COVID-19 who have stayed home and home isolated, when is it safe for them to go out into the public? If you've been tested and determined that you are if you're determined that you are not contagious, you have to go without a fever for 72 hours without any type of medication to reduce the fever. Also, if your symptoms have improved, for example, if your cough or shortness of breath has improved, that would be another situation that you would need to meet before it's safe for you to re-enter the community. And at least 7 days have passed since the symptoms have first appeared. Right now, we're coordinating with Department of Health to set up 3 non-congregate settings in the community. The first being a non-congregate setting that would be for positive COVID patients or anybody that feels that they've been exposed to somebody that's positive. They would be housed in this facility as long as you don't have somewhere to self-isolate or self-quarantine safely at home, away from your friends and family. The second would be a site that we've identified for first responders and any medical personnel that feel that they don't want to take that home to their friends and family as well. So that second site has been set up. The third site, which is still in discussion, is a site that is identified for at-risk population. If you fall into a category where you are on any type of drug use or alcohol abuse, you will not be welcomed into the other first two non-congregate settings. So we're trying to identify a third location for that at-risk community. But at this time, I think that's pretty much all I have to say as far as on the COVID-19.
Mr. Maestas, real quick, do you have the number for the public health office?
Yes, I do.
And as we spoke the other day, I believe that you said that that was testing at no cost. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. All COVID-19 testing is at no cost to anybody at any facility that you go to. And again, that phone number to our local public health office is 505-425-9368.
Thank you. Mr.
Thank you.
Maestas?
Yes.
Chair
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Chair Nahat. I'm sorry, were you done? I have a question, but I'll defer to you.
I just asked you to repeat the last 4 digits of the phone number.
That phone number again is 505-425-9368.
Okay, I'm sorry, Mr. Commissioner Varela, go ahead and proceed.
Oh, thank you, Chairman Nahat, and thank you, Mr. Maestas, for the report and for the work that you do every day in keeping our community safe. I do have a question, and thank you for bringing testing to Pecos. My question is, do the people that reside on this end of the county, the far end, and we're closer to Santa Fe, should we also call, our residents call the public health office in Las Vegas and go to Alta Vista, or should we do something different?
They're more than welcome to contact our local El Centro, Alta Vista, or our local public health office to get testing. If they feel it's more convenient for them to travel to Santa Fe, they're more than welcome to do that as well at Presbyterian through Tricor.
And do you know if there's a cost? Do you know if there's is that free also? Is there a cost associated?
Throughout the state, anybody that gets tested for COVID-19, it's all free of charge.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Varela, and I want to echo what Commissioner Varela said. Mr. Maestas, on behalf of the county, you and Fire Chief Duran, Warden Elwell, and our manager, Martinez, for the job that you did at the crisis, which was probably averted at the detention center. That was a terrific job that you guys did, and also keeping the public informed as to what was going on. It ran very smoothly. Thank you for that. Any other comments for Mr. Maestas, Mr. Duran, Chief Duran?
I just have a comment. This is Commissioner Trujillo. I'd like to echo Commissioner Nahad's sentiments on that, Leo. You guys, I know there was a crisis the other evening as well. I think it was Friday evening, and the way you handled it with that guy running around town, you know, a positive case, and the way you handled it, and you kept him out of our jail, you kept him out of harm's way, out of the public, got him shipped off to Albuquerque to a site there. I just wanted to thank you and for the way you handled it, Leo, your connections to Department of Health, and you know, you guys really did well. Sheriff Lopez, all of you guys just you guys are doing an excellent job, and I thank you for that.
Yes, sir. Again, it is a collaborative effort with all our law enforcement, our elected and senior officials to coordinate something like that in a moment's notice. But yeah, it does take a whole family, a whole community effort for us to be able to work through these situations at any given time.
Thank you for mentioning that, Commissioner Trujillo. I just want to, and I forgot to mention Sheriff Lopez, and I'm glad you did because he was a very important part of this whole process. All right. Anybody else? Any other comments from any of the commissioners?
I have a question, Commissioner Nahar.
Commissioner Garcia.
Yeah, Mr. Maestas. I understand. I've been seeing emails. Is it true that the FEMA, you know, because of the situation at the county jail, this more than likely will qualify for a FEMA reimbursement? And is it true that we could request 100% reimbursement through FEMA?
A portion of that could possibly be true. So FEMA, under the Public Assistance Act, we're only allowed category B, which is emergency measures. So right now we're currently tracking any expenditures that we've spent that are tied to COVID-19. But outside of that, we wouldn't be able to claim anything because we have not met a threshold for the county.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
And thanks for your help.
Any other comment? Any other comment?
I would also like to say thank you to Leo and Sheriff Lopez for all the work they've been doing out there.
Thank you.
All right. Are you back on, Mr. Martinez, chairperson, or shall I continue?
Madam
Mr.
Chair, you can
Martinez?
hear us. Your microphone is on mute. There it is. Ahí estás.
Apparently she's still having problems. We'll go ahead and proceed under item number 2. We have an update on the census and county computer system being presented by, and for information purposes only, being presented by Diego Trujillo, IT Director. Mr. Trujillo.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Dr. Martinez. Madam Chair, today I'll be presenting to you a brief update on the 2020 San Miguel County Complete Count Committee's progress on encouraging our residents to participate in the 2020 census and update on the current status of our information systems. So as you know, the city's role in the census is strictly to promote and encourage our residents to participate and participate on time. As we've mentioned in previous presentations, it's extremely important that our residents participate on time. It is extremely expensive to go through the enumerating process and go door to door. Most of those that have not participated on time typically do for a reason, and the numbers that are compiled after they enumerate door to door are insignificant. So it's extremely important that our residents participate on time. So as you know, in dealing with the incident, the COVID issues we're having lately, our strategies have changed. Most of our encouragement events were basically large gatherings in communities, in neighborhoods. And that had to change with all the social distancing requirements that are upon us now with the COVID threat. So the state has given us direction to use the funding that has been provided to us to encourage our residents to participate, to help local business and feed the needy within our communities. So we have done an aggressive campaign over the last 4 weeks to help the local restaurants who are still in business and can provide us handheld meals, which then we provide to the local distribution, food distribution lines provided by the Samaritan House and the Vagabonds in Las Vegas. The Samaritan House here in Las Vegas does work with the distribution centers in the Valley and Pecos, and we hope to increase our donations to those organizations as we move forward into the census season. As you know, we had received $4,300 from the state to promote the 2020 census. That grant has been doubled, and we were the recipient of an additional $54,300. The initial $54,300 needs to be expended by June 30th. So we're going to have a big push here in the next 45 days to get all that money through local business and to encourage our residents to participate. The census season has been extended through October, which gives us a little bit more time. The numbers that I've seen reported on local media are not too impressive. We're reporting right now at about 36% statewide. I haven't seen any numbers countywide, but we probably fall on those statistics. So now that we move forward and we're looking at maybe quite possibly an opening within the next 2 weeks, we plan on having community events in our municipality and villages where we can reach the most people possible. We plan on providing them meals and electronic resources to file on site. So our goal is to continue to promote 2020 census participation, as well as meet some of the needs that our community is having to face during this troubling time. Any questions in regard to the census?
Diego, I have a question. This is Commissioner Trujillo. Do you have any extra banners or anything like that that I can put up at my office on 7th Street? I know it's a little thing to do, but anything that might bring some awareness to people passing, to remind them to do their census reports, or is there anything else we can do? Maybe some public service announcements to go up to the radio, or I know you're already doing some of that, but if we can help, or if I can help in any way, I'd be happy to do so.
Absolutely, we have some yard signs and some banners. I'd be happy to share one with you. Anything helps, that's for sure. As I mentioned earlier in the year, I think all our conversations should end with those that we see every day with don't forget to participate in the census. Everybody has a duty. Everybody depends on it. It's our healthcare, it's our schools, it's our meal programs. Yes, it takes all of us to push this. So yes, if you guys could, moving forward, please promote it as much as possible. Councilor Joseph Baca has done an outstanding job in promoting that as a public service announcement. I'm sure most of you have heard those commercials on local radio. They're very informative, and he's doing a great job of getting that message out without any expense to the committee or the state at the census, or the census at the state level. So yes, anything you guys can afford once we move forward and the social distancing requirements are eased, I may be calling upon you or several of you to volunteer and help us in your respective districts in getting the word out and participating in events in those areas.
Thank you. Mr. Trujillo, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Varela.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Diego. Thank you for doing this work. And I talked to you and let you know what some of the issues I've experienced. I was waiting for my code to come in the mail, and it didn't get here by April 1st like I was told and expected. And I was able to go online without it once I had heard that people with rural addresses, HC and PO boxes, were not going to get it. So I never did get anything from the government, the US government, about the census. So I went online, and there's a box that says proceed without that. And it was able to accept my physical address. I know other people had issues with that and went through several steps, and it said that we were successful in completion. But I got some communication, one from one of our US congressional staff, and then talked to a state legislator and found out that we might have to repeat it again when we get the enumerate, that we'll need to wait for somebody to come and give us papers so we have the code. Can you give us some clarification on that?
As I mentioned earlier, we're just strictly encouragement. We don't have any interaction with the Census Bureau other than my department providing them addressing. So those questions I cannot speak to. Our program is funded by the state because they saw a huge need to increase our numbers and just how important and what's at stake. So as far as what methods, how the census contacts residents, that's out of our realm of responsibility. I participate at that level just like as a resident, just like all of us do. Those are questions that are better posed to the Census Bureau. Once again, we're strictly Our role is strictly to encourage participation on time. Unfortunately, I can't provide you that information.
Yeah, and I've been promoting that on social media with people I know, and I was told anyway, so we might just have to go through it again. So it's very frustrating, but then it's no mystery that we're so undercounted given all the obstacles that we're facing that are no fault of the county or your own. Just wanted to ask questions and point that out and see if we had any clarity. We just have to wait and see what happens, and if they come, and we'll just have to answer the questions, and if they want us to do it again, we'll do it again.
Yes, unfortunately, that's the nature of rural addressing. Very few people have physical addresses. Most rural addressing is post office boxes, and that seems to continue to pose a problem even at the federal level.
Yeah.
So hopefully, I just encourage all our residents to please give a little bit of effort and take the next step in getting that filed. It affects every single one of us.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Varela. The outreach that you have, Mr. Trujillo at the plaza, that's pretty terrific. Roy Conway's out there, especially handing out burritos, and he's got a lot of people approaching his table there. So I think that's working real well. So I'm glad that is. Any other comments from any of the commissioners? All right, thank you, Mr. Trujillo.
So if I could continue with the second portion of the presentation, Commissioner.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Which is the status of the county computer system. So I'll start off letting you all know that this was a criminal act that we experienced, and my information has to be limited. I will provide the status of where we stand right now as far as our information system is concerned. So
Diego,
excuse me.
I'm
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not hearing any of that. Is anybody else?
Yeah,
no,
I'm having a really hard time. It's like a really bad echo on Diego's.
That's how it. Yeah, I can hear everybody else okay except for Diego.
Do I sound better?
Yeah.
That's better.
All right.
Did you take the bucket off your head?
We have a couple of users in the chamber, and we're still trying to learn proper remote etiquette. So just with that being said, everybody that's not speaking, please mute yourself. So as I mentioned, the incident that we had in January was a criminal act, and I cannot speak too much of anything because it's currently under investigation, but I can give you a status of where we're at today. So I'm happy to announce that all of our systems are in production. We have 2 remaining obstacles that we're working through right now in the assessors and the clerk's office. Their systems, as I mentioned, are available and in production. Staffs are working through filling what's left in the gap that we had in 2019. We were able to import a good portion of that data. The staff continues to work to update that in both departments. The assessor's office is working to meet their obligations for the end of the month, which is their certifications and valuations to our residents. So as I mentioned, our computer systems are up and running at 100% with minimal maintenance to the year 2019, as that year was still needed some work to be done. We were able to import up to the end of 2018, and we worked towards 100% completion within the next month and in getting our data current. But as of right now, we're at 100% operation. All systems are available, and the 2 staffs, as I mentioned, in the clerk's and the assessor's office are working towards filling the last remaining records in the 2019 calendar year.
All right, thank you, Mr. Trujillo. We're getting a little bit out of the scope of the agenda here, but I thank you for that information. I'm glad you're working on that. Geraldine hasn't called me lately, so I think things are good. All right. Moving on to item number 3. Resolution recommending the Pecos Panthers boys basketball team on the 4-peat state championship. Sorry, Commissioner Varela, that Coach Hart left, became the athletic director at Española. But having said that, Commissioner Varela, will you present the resolution?
Certainly. Thank you so much, Commissioner Nahad. Do we have Coach Harge on the meeting and the Pecos Panthers? Were they able to join us?
Oh, good.
Mr. Trujillo, do you know if they were able to join us?
Commissioner, I'm here.
Oh, hi, Ira. Oh, look at that. You got the players behind you. I'm so glad that you're able to join us. Thank you. Yes, and we're very sad that you're going to leave Pecos, but I said Española deserves blessings as well. So thank you so much, Coach Hart, for all your wonderful leadership and guiding our boys to 4 championships. That's unheard of, and only the second one to ever happen in New Mexico other than Hobbs. We're extremely proud of the Panthers and of the great work that you've done. And I can read the resolution and turn it over to you, Coach Harge, to say some words, or would you prefer to open up first?
No, please go ahead and I'll speak afterwards. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And the last 3, this is the 4th year, in the last 3 championships, we were able to host the meeting, our county commission meeting in May in Pecos, and honor the Panthers in person. So unfortunately, we're not able to honor them in person and have cake and celebrate, but we have been with you in our hearts, and you're in our hearts, and we're celebrating in our living rooms with a distance. And so it's different, but I thank you so much for making this effort to join us today. So I will read Resolution 05-12-2020 PBBB, Pecos Panther Boys Basketball. In recognition of the Pecos Panthers boys basketball team winning the state 2AA basketball championship. Whereas San Miguel County Board of Commissioners commends outstanding educational and athletic achievement and gives special honor to those student athletes who pursue such excellence that they become role models for the youth of San Miguel County. And whereas Pecos Panthers were on a quest to win their 4th straight state basketball championship. The Panthers won district for the 5th straight time, beating Santa Rosa High School. Whereas a resolution recognizing and honoring the Pecos Panthers boys basketball team for winning the Class AA state basketball championship. And whereas due to the COVID-19 coronavirus, the championship game was played at an empty arena, absent of fans for the first time in history. After their huge victory, the team and coaches were welcomed by their families and a few fans that were waiting patiently in a nearby restaurant. Whereas in order to win their 4th state championship, the Panthers beat Estancia, Rehoboth, Christian, Newcomb, and previously undefeated Magdalena. The Pecos Panthers beat the Magdalena Steers 63-53. Whereas the basketball team under the leadership of head coach Ira Harge Jr. and assistant coaches Kevin Behill and Arthur Gonzalez brought back the coveted blue trophy to Pecos for the 4th year in a row. And whereas that determination, heart and strive for excellence was evident on the court throughout the basketball team. And whereas the strive for excellence unified their mission to stand as champions. And whereas the Pecos Panthers basketball team stands as one of the most defensively and offensively sound teams in the state. And whereas the team consists of players Willie Trujillo, Aaron Ortiz, Aiden Holton, Jodiah Padilla, Anthony Armijo, Keith Flores, Xavier Padilla, Devin Gonzalez, Rolando Sandoval, Christian Tanús, Juan Varela, Ismael Villegas, Jacob Sandoval, Isaiah Sandoval. Managers, Angelique Roybal, Angelina Chavez, Nathan Perea, and whereas the Pecos Panthers basketball team merits recognition for their perseverance, determination, spirit, and hard work in capturing the AA New Mexico State Basketball Championship, leading as a positive example for the youth of Pecos and San Miguel County. Whereas the Pecos Panthers are the 2nd team in New Mexico history of boys basketball to win 4 consecutive state championship titles. Whereas the many fans in Pecos welcomed the 4-time champions into town with the parade and small reception with family. Now therefore be it resolved by the San Miguel County Commission proclaiming May 12, 2020 as Pecos Panther Day in San Miguel County. Passed and approved on this date. And I ask the chair to entertain a motion for approval.
Yes,
Motion
at this
to
time,
approve.
we'll entertain a motion to approve such resolution.
Motion to approve, Madam,
Motion to
Mr.
approve by
Chair.
Commissioner Garcia. Have a second?
Second, Commissioner Martinez.
Second by Commissioner Maria Martinez. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Coach Harge. I was fortunate enough to visit, to see your team play at the Stu Clark tournament. You won that tournament. And I was also at the state tournament able to see you play Rehoboth just before they shut you down and shut the audience down anyway. So congratulations, Coach Harge.
Thank you, Madam Commissioner, Commissioners, Dr. Martinez. Thank you all for everything and all the support you've given us. This was a very special team. I mean, this team from their freshman year to their senior year didn't lose a game. They're truly talented. And the guys under them, the freshmen and the juniors and the sophomores, are equally as talented. So Pecos, I guess I should say, is in really good hands for the next coach and heading, it's a program now and they should keep going and win, consistently. And I'm very proud of what was built, but I'm even prouder of these young men. They're not only good basketball players, but they're great students as well. And more importantly, they're good people. And so we appreciate that. They're good citizens. We like what they do in the community. They have helped food bank. They have helped neighbors. They have done several things for the church. I mean, they're just a good group of young men, and I'm so proud of them. I just wanted to announce also that we had the starting five, who was Juan Varela, Anthony Armijo, Xavier Padilla, Devin Gonzalez, and Ismael Villegas were all district. Ismael Villegas, Xavier Padilla, and Anthony Armijo were all state, and they're North-South All-Stars as well. So hopefully this COVID will leave us alone so we can see the All-Star game in July. And commissioners, if you're available, I hope you'll go out and support them. So I just want to thank you all for your continued support through our season, and go Panthers.
Any other comments from any of the commissioners?
Yes, Commissioner. This is Max. Coach Harge, I just want to congratulate you, and I follow you. When I watch the games on online, because they got rid of all the fans and everything, but so I can watch the game in a more easy way, and I'm not all emotional as I would being at the game, but I just want to take my hat off to you and compliment you on the way you coach, the way you manage to coach calm in those kids, and their head is always in the game, and that's a rare thing in coaching. I've been around sports all my life, and I think that attribute in a team is, above all, I think that's the greatest thing that you've taught these kids, and it's amazing, and I'm sure you're going to do it everywhere you go. But I just wanted to congratulate you on that. I love the way your kids play. They never lose sight of the game. They're always calm. They always keep their head, and that's a big attribute, man. That's a big shot in the arm for you, Coach. So thank you for everything you've done for the kids in our community.
Thank you, Commissioner. I want to comment on that really quick. There's times where we're about to play a game, and it's a big game, and I'm going through pages of notes, and the guys look at me and they're like, Coach, we got this. Okay, let's play. So they keep me as calm as I probably look, but I'm inside, I'm going nuts. So
I'm sure.
Any other comments?
Commissioner Nahara, I would like to say to Coach, I want to say thank you for instilling the good leadership skills to these children in our community, to these young men and women that you have been part of, and shown good to be good role models in our community, not only by playing basketball, but by also going out and serving our community in other ways. Thank you, and good luck in your future.
Thank you, Commissioner Martinez. Any further comment? All right, thank you, Coach Hard.
Thank you. And one other quick thing, you're not a good coach
Yes,
without
sir.
your assistants. And I forgot to thank my assistants, Arthur Gonzalez and Kevin V. Hill. I just wanted to throw that out there because without them, we wouldn't have done what we did. So thank you guys. Thanks again.
Thank you. Thank you all. And hugs to my vecino Juan and the Pecos Panthers. And we'll be seeing you. Thank you, Coach.
All right. Moving on to item number 4, Commissioner Martinez, Chairperson Martinez, are you back or shall I proceed?
I'm back.
Okay.
If you want me to,
Yes. Moving on to the item number 4, if you want to take over, that's fine. If you want me to continue, that's fine as well. Person Martinez, shall I proceed? Shall I carry on?
You're muted, Maria.
okay, Commissioner Nahar, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I can.
Okay. If you want, I can proceed from here.
Okay,
We're on
item number 4.
Item number 4, San Miguel County participation as a petitioner for the ONRW, Outstanding National Resource Water. Commissioner Varela? No, Attorney David Romero will be handling this one.
Counselor, we saw you earlier. Where'd you go?
Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
You're also echoing.
The echo, Diego, I guess, or else I can just go to yours. The matter for your consideration is the participation of San Miguel County with the Western Environment Law Center. They are readying a request to the Water Quality Commission regarding the improvement of the quality of water especially in the Upper Pecos Basin. Now, we as a commission have, back in November, passed a resolution which essentially says that we support clean water in the Pecos, and we support all efforts to keep it clean. It's my opinion that even though we've given a general approval of support for the issue, that any other contract revolving around that issue should be approved of by the county commissioners. So what we have in front of us is a legal contract with Western Environmental Law Center. Then they're also representing about 4 or 5 other groups in the Pecos area. And I guess the first question is this going to cost us anything? I've looked at the contract closely and no, it is not going to cost us anything to be part of this lawsuit. Second issue, are there expenses? And no, there are no expenses that we will be responsible for unless we agree to them ahead of time. Thirdly, my sense is that this contract is typical in the sense that it allows the Western Environmental Law Center to represent the county in our general issue of public welfare, along with other participants in the Pecos area, in order to maintain the clarity and the quality of the water. This isn't directly related to the mining issue, but I think it is indirectly, because if the quality of water can be kept by regulation clean, in the Upper Pecos Basin, then you also have a tool to make sure that the mining company is in accord with that requirement of keeping the water clean. Although that's not specifically stated, that's my gist of reading the agreement. So I told Commissioner Varela and the Western Environmental Law Center that I would like to make it a practice that we approve and consider every contract that follows under that primary resolution of clean water. And this contract allows us to terminate the contract at any time. It allows us input. The only difference may be that we may want to list the client as, instead of Commissioner Varela as the commissioner, we may want to have her as the commissioner and the county as the client as we work through this. The Western Environmental Law Group is a nonprofit group. There are public interest law firms, a law firm that gets involved in many types of environmental areas. And you know, as I think about this, I say, well, why would they want to come to Pecos and do this for free? And I think the reason is that there are attorney's fees that can be assessed against opponents that may fund the Western Environmental Law Center so that we don't have to pay as a county or as individuals. I'm not positive of that, but my first question is, nobody does anything for free. Why are they doing it? Besides their love of the environment and their commitment to the environment and the practice that they've been carrying on for the last couple of years. So I am, one other change or clarification, we are not going to be the lead client. We are not going to be the lead party. San Miguel County is going to be one of many parties that are involved, but not the lead party. And in light of that, what I'm recommending to the commissioners is that we approve the contract with those changes that I've mentioned, so that we can continue to work for the quality of water in the Pecos area. And if it looks like, to me or to those who are participating, that the role is not as we expected or not as direct, then we'll just drop out of the lawsuit. But for now, in this early stage, and what I did was I authorized a conditional participation with the group so that we could meet certain deadlines as to filing the case until we get formal approval from the Board of County Commissioners, which in my reading we needed to do. And that's why it's here before you today. Any questions?
Is there any questions from the commission?
None for me.
Madam Chair?
Commissioner Trujillo?
Having worked with the Western Environmental Law Center on a couple of projects in my nonprofit days, I have a high regard and a high level of trust for this organization. Their integrity is impeccable, and I think that they are providing a huge service for San Miguel County, and I know that you know, I know where their heart is on this, and you know, to get that designation of outstanding national waters for the Pecos River is going to ensure for many years that the Pecos River is taken care of, and it's you know, uncontaminated from different sources that are potentially out there. So I agree with this, and I support it.
Thank you, Commissioner Trujillo. Any further comments or questions? Do I
Madam
have a
Chair,
motion? Commissioner
motion to
Nahad,
approve, Madam Chair.
motion to approve by Commissioner Nahad. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Trujillo. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We move on to item number 5, resolution number 05-12-2020 NCNMEDD. Presenter Max O. Trujillo, County Commissioner.
Okay. Get that resolution here. So we are, I've been on the board of the New Mexico, the Northeast or the North Central New Mexico Economic Development COG, and we are asking that San Miguel appoint Mr. Phillip Martinez to the board as our economic development person or representative from the county. I don't see that resolution in my packet. Sorry about that.
If you need me to read it, Mr. Trujillo, I have it, if you would like me to read it.
Okay, I'd appreciate that, Madam Chair, if you could please.
Resolution number 05-12-2020 NCNMEDD. In the matter of appointing an individual to represent San Miguel County as a member of the Board of Directors of the Northern Central New Mexico Economic Development District. Whereas the North Central New Mexico Economic Development District, established in 1967, is the regional council for governments of for local governments in the Santa Fe, Rio Arriba, Taos, Colfax, Mora, San Miguel, Los Alamos, and Sandoval counties. And whereas the North Central New Mexico Economic Development District assists local governments with community and economic development projects and initiatives, and whereas consists with the North Central New Mexico Economic Development District Joint Powers Agreement, each county commission may select a representative to serve on the board of directors. And whereas, as a member of the North Central New Mexico Economic Development District, San Miguel County wishes to appoint an individual to represent San Miguel County on such board of directors. And whereas Phillip Martinez serves as the director of the Las Vegas San Miguel Chamber of Commerce and has been involved in economic development interests and activities in Las Vegas, San Miguel County area. And whereas San Miguel County desires to utilize the experience and knowledge of Phillip Martinez with the areas of community and economic development projects and initiatives by serving on the board of directors of the North Central New Mexico Economic Development District. Now, therefore, be it resolved and ordained by the Board of San Miguel County Commission that Phillip Martinez, Director of Las Vegas San Miguel County Chamber of Commerce, is hereby appointed to represent San Miguel County as a member of the Board of Directors of the Northern Central New Mexico Economic Development District. Passed and approved on this 12th day of May 2020. Do I have a motion on the floor?
Madam Chair.
Commissioner Nahad?
Commissioner Garcia.
Congratulations, Commissioner Trujillo. Excellent choice. I can't think of anybody better to represent San Miguel County on the board of directors than Mr. Martinez. I move that we approve this request.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Nahad, second by Commissioner Garcia. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. We move on to item number 6, recycling grant update. Elizabeth Juarez, grant writer.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here. So I've come today to tell you a little good news in such uncertain times. If I could just remind you that can everyone hear me okay? Just to make sure everything is good. Okay, good. I came to see you last in November with Phillip Martinez of the Chamber of Commerce to tell you that the Chamber of Commerce has had supported me to write 2 grants in the name of San Miguel County. One of the grants was to the New Mexico Environment Department Solid Waste Bureau, to the RAID program, it's called, short acronym for Recycling and Illegal Dumping, and the other to the New Mexico Tourism Department. The New Mexico Tourism Department proposal we haven't heard back yet about, so as soon as I hear about that, I'll let you know, but that's still out there. But we heard that from the Solid Waste Bureau that our proposal was successful, and we received full funding for that particular project. I have a short presentation just to give you information about the details of this project, and I'm so happy to say that this is a big success for San Miguel County, specifically focused on Pecos to begin this particular project. So let me show you just a few things. Oh, my screen sharing is disabled, but I don't have very much. If Diego, if you want to give me permission, I can do it. Otherwise, no problem, because I don't have, I can tell you the information as well. So the award that we received, we got really strong feedback from the Solid Waste Bureau that our proposal is, it was one of the highest ranking in the whole state. So we're at this situation where we have a good connection and a good relationship right now with the Solid Waste Bureau, and I suggest that that should be maintained, because year after year we can go back to develop this program further. This is a particular project. It's not a huge, okay, I think I've got, oh, okay, sorry, I was just checking if I could show my screen. So our award was for, I'll just say it, it was for $68,200. And so it's not a huge award, but it's sizable, and it's enough to really start something very important. The particular details of this project are that it's called, let me read the title for you. We're calling it the Pecos Recycling Program, Establishment of Facilities with Corresponding Education Program and Public Relations Campaign. So it's a bit of a mouthful, because there are 2 key pieces to it. So it's really twofold. The first piece of this project is to develop in Pecos, at the Pecos Collection Center, the basic infrastructure needed to start a successful recycling program. So this basic infrastructure deals with containers, bins that are to collect particular items, and ones that have been tried and tested by Public Works to actually work and be able to collect and deliver recyclables. The other piece of funding goes for this basic infrastructure is fencing, gating, so that this isn't going to be a free-for-all. One issue that recycling centers throughout the world has had is contamination. So recycling centers need to be contained and also staffed. So San Miguel County will be in charge of making sure that when the recycling centers open, that that users of the recycling center use it properly, and make sure to only put particular items in particular bins and follow those instructions. This is a really crucial part of recycling. Now, the particular project here is for a recycling center in Pecos, and the vision is to develop further. This project is only for fiscal year 21, so we only are going to focus on this particular piece, and then it has the capacity to build in the future, depending on support. There is a solid waste hierarchy, so this is a wonderful project for almost $70,000, and we'll do some good to start, but it's important to remember that because there is a solid waste hierarchy, and because of the fact that there are global issues with recycling right now, this project won't solve global problems right now. So for instance, it would be hopeful that we could accept plastic, for instance, at the Pecos Recycling Center, but that's not happening globally right now. So we're starting with a very basic, lowest hanging fruit of the solid waste hierarchy, which is just recycling cardboard and metal, which to be honest is a bit disappointing, but keep in mind when that's disappointing that this project has the capacity to grow in the future. A big part of the potential for growth in the future is the part of the project that's not just the infrastructure. So I said that the project's twofold: to develop the basic infrastructure in Pecos for recycling, and then also to develop a education program and a PR campaign to engage the community of really the whole county of San Miguel County. So the way we're thinking that this project is intended to engage the community is really far-reaching. We're really focusing on everyone, making sure that everybody gets as much information as possible, but also really in a special way focusing on the youth of Pecos who are able and ready to take on the task of becoming active participants. And they will view themselves at the end of this project as being capable of finding solutions to the global problems of recycling, and help us guide our steps in the next years of how we want to develop recycling around the whole county. So the education program, the funding for this grant supports the education program where we have support from the Pecos schools and the village of Pecos to interact with the schools, all ages, elementary, middle, and high school, to institute really kind of best practices in improving recycling, like Keep America Beautiful curriculum, but geared also towards the local population there. So we'll have some events in the school, and then depending on the situation with the COVID-19, we'll have to be flexible with that. The project will have to be flexible with that. Hopefully it doesn't last too long, but you never know. A really exciting part of this education program is that it will culminate in the spring with an event. The youth of Pecos will be prepared and able to come up with ideas for innovation in finding solutions to recycling, and some that potentially have entrepreneurial potential as well. The Las Vegas San Miguel Chamber of Commerce will host an event in the spring to celebrate those youth. So we'll get a lot of attention, and through their ideas, that we can keep in mind that we have the potential there to help to solve the problems and build on this basic structure that we're developing with this project. The project further will have a PR campaign. So the word will be spread far and wide throughout the county via all the methods, Facebook, radio, newspaper, flyers. There will also be a community question and answer session held in Pecos so that people can come and ask questions and really fully understand what the particular details of this project are. It'll be important through the PR campaign to make sure that the hours of operation are clearly listed, so, and also the proper drop-off techniques are understood. Further, for this particular PR campaign, the kind of really important pieces there are education to the general public about diversion of pieces on the lower parts of the solid waste hierarchy, like lead acid batteries, used motor oil. So the Pecos Recycling Center won't accept those items because of permitting, but in the PR campaign, it'll be described how one, for people who don't know, how one can recycle those items and even get money to do that. So the overall kind of theme of this particular project will be reduce, reuse, recycle, and education, and get everybody involved. And then the key pieces that will have that basic infrastructure set up in Pecos so that it can be built upon in Pecos in the future. And also it can be an example for the rest of the county to copy in the future and learn from. I want to note that the Gerald Garcia has been named as the grant manager, so he will be in charge of this project from here on out. And I want to just congratulate the whole county for the success here, and leave it open if there's any, and answer any questions I'm able to.
Do you have any question, commissioners? I would just like to say congratulations to Ms. Juarez for your hard work in obtaining these monies for this grant, and thank you.
Madam Chair.
You're very welcome. I'm so pleased.
Commissioner Trujillo.
I'd like to echo those sentiments, Elizabeth, and thank you so much for your work, and thank the Chamber of Commerce for hanging in there with us. And I think this is going to be the beginning of something substantial for the County of San Miguel. I know that the education component is going to be super important moving forward, because I think since I was a kid and they had that pitch-in campaign, and you know, you wouldn't even remember it, Elizabeth, but anyway, it started bringing awareness to the kids at the grade school level, that it's not okay to litter and stuff like that. And I think if we start tying in not just recycling, but littering and things like that, I think that the county can start even enforcing our ordinances with regards to littering and illegal dumping and stuff like that. But you know, the county getting this grant is like the first step in the county being able to enforce their ordinances a little stronger for illegal dumping and littering, because now they know we're engaged. Now they know the county is active in recycling and in illegal dumping and stuff like that. So now we have teeth, and now we have skin in the game, and now we can enforce those ordinances a little bit better and move forward. But anyway, thanks so much, Elizabeth, for your work, and Phillip, and you guys, you knocked it out of the park with that grant proposal. Thank you.
Any other
Thank you
comments
so
or
much.
questions?
Yeah, and I want to say, I didn't want to interrupt anyone. I just wanted to say thank you so much, Commissioner Trujillo. That's so true. I feel from my experience with putting this proposal together, the Solid Waste Bureau is so supportive. They want to help us, and I think it's really important to be ready to accept their help. They were absolutely, there's more and more we can do. So it's a good position to be in.
Well, thank you.
Madam Chair?
Commissioner Varela.
Hi, I just logged on again. I was kicked out. I'm having problems here. Anyway, wanted to thank you. I missed your presentation, Elizabeth, but also echo what's been said, and thank you for getting this going. It seems like it was, we didn't know how we were going to get here when we had that meeting a year ago in Pecos with over 30 participants in the village, and Santa Fe Recycling Center came and presented, and you've taken us a long way in getting this grant, so I really appreciate that. Thank you. And having Pecos being
I actually did it. I just did one little piece. You all did the work beforehand, so thank you.
Okay, if that's it, we'll move on to item number 7, resolution number 05-01-2020, fire restrictions. Presenter, Mr. Andrew Lucero, Andrew Duran, Fire Chief.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, Commissioners, Dr. Martinez. As we can see outside, temperatures continue to increase and the wind continues to blow. So because of some predictions that I've been keeping on top of, San Miguel County is predicted to remain in abnormally dry conditions through May and June. And with the COVID-19 pandemic, firefighters would have a difficult time implementing social distancing should a wildfire incident occur. In an effort to prevent and or reduce the possibility of a wildfire incident, restrictions on open burning are advisable. Before you have a resolution number 05-01-2020-fire restrictions, a resolution declaring a fire danger in San Miguel County. Whereas San Miguel County is experiencing abnormally dry conditions with very little moisture in the near future, and whereas San Miguel County has determined, based on current drought indices published by the National Weather Service Prediction Center, that we expect abnormally dry conditions through May and June, and whereas fire restrictions would prevent and reduce human-caused fires and implementing restrictions is necessary for the safety of the public, and whereas in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, should a wildfire incident occur, firefighting resources would have difficulty implementing social distancing, and whereas San Miguel County believes because of weather conditions, a fire danger exists, and the provisions and requirements set forth in Ordinance 03-09-99-ORD need to be implemented, and whereas the foregoing conditions have created an emergency which presents an immediate danger to public health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of San Miguel County, New Mexico. A resolution may be lawfully and immediately adopted as permitted by Section 4-37-7C NMSA 1978, in other words, and otherwise provided by law. It is hereby resolved that from this day forward until June 14, 2020, unless otherwise modified or rescinded, that all open burning of cropland, fields, rangeland, debris, burning slash piles, prescribed burning, or weed burning in San Miguel County, New Mexico shall be banned throughout the unincorporated areas of San Miguel County, and the provisions of San Miguel County Ordinance 03-9-99 ORD are in effect. This ban shall prohibit any person from causing, starting, igniting, and or using open flames outside of a building, structure, automobile, or other enclosed areas, anywhere throughout the unincorporated portions of San Miguel County.
Do I have a motion
Madam
to
Chair.
approve?
I have a question for Fire Chief Duran, Madam Chair.
Commissioner Nahar?
Chief, and I don't know if it's too early, but should you not also include fireworks in this resolution? Or is it too early, or is that possible?
Fireworks must follow a state statute, and right now, based on the way the state statute is written, right now I do not foresee that we would restrict fireworks sales at this time. We're not even though we're in abnormally dry conditions, in the case of fireworks, we would have to be in extreme fire danger. And right now,
thank you for that explanation.
Any other
Based on
questions?
that explanation, motion to pass this resolution, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair,
Motion by Commissioner Nahar. Commissioner Trujillo?
I just want to, I want to agree with Fire Chief Duran. I've talked to some of the people from the U.S. Forest Service regarding this, and their biggest fear right now is mobilizing units to fight a wildfire in our area. Given the COVID-19 situation and all of that, the burden that would occur should a fire break out would be huge. And I'm glad that Fire Chief Duran took this measure, because San Miguel County, we don't want to be the reason to overburden our firefighters this year, especially this year. So I just wanted to thank you, Fire Chief Duran, for putting this forward. And I second Commissioner Nahar's motion.
Madam Chair?
Commissioner Varela?
Yeah, Chief Duran, I also would like to echo the sentiments of thanking you for this resolution. We've had an influx of visitors in the Pecos ever since this coronavirus. Everyone is flooding the Pecos Canyon, and even though there are fire restrictions in place from the Forest Service, which are new, there are several fires left unattended. So I'll continue to communicate with our district ranger from the Forest Service and see how we can support the efforts and coordinate with governments to keep the enforcement of the fires and stopping that, because they're still making fires, but it does help to have this this ordinance. Thank you. This resolution, I mean.
Fire Chief Duran, this question might be for you. Well, it's for you. I just have a question. How are you going to notify the public that this ordinance has been passed so that people comply with it?
One of the first steps that I'll take upon signatures is getting this over to our dispatch center, to state police, of course, the State Forest Service, and we'll advertise it on our social media and our local paper as well.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So this resolution number 050-01-2020 fire restrictions was motioned by Commissioner Nahar, second by Commissioner Trujillo. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. We move on to item number 8, ordinance number SM 05-12-2020, LED High Plains Processing LCC. Presenter Alex Tafoya, Planning and Zoning.
Good afternoon. This ordinance concerns the High Plains Processing LLC project and is being presented for review and consideration for adoption. And what the ordinance does, this is a follow-up on last month's resolution. The ordinance approves High Plains Processing LLC as a local economic development project eligible for economic development assistance as provided under the Local Economic Development Act. And what that assistance is a $100,000 appropriation, grant appropriation from the State of New Mexico Economic Development Department. What the assistance is that the county would provide is that of the role of fiscal agent for the funding. And the LEDA Act requires that High Plains Processing be approved by the Board of County Commissioners as a local economic development project for economic development assistance. So the ordinance and the project participation agreement have both been reviewed by the legal staff of the New Mexico Economic Development Department. We got our comments from them yesterday, and it's okay to proceed. They had one change, and that one change to the project participation agreement was to change the terms of the appropriation from 5 years to 3 years. And other than that, everything is okay. And what that 3-year change is in the area of substantive contribution by High Plains Processing. So they would have 3 years to create 20 jobs as per the LEDA Act, and also as per the term sheet that High Plains Processing provided in regard to the creation of jobs. If those jobs are not created within the 3-year period, then High Plains Processing would have to pay back the money that they've received. So also the New Mexico Economic Development Department provided the county again yesterday with an intergovernmental agreement between the Economic Development Department and the county for the transfer of those funds, and we will present this agreement to the Board of County Commissioners at the June Commission meeting. In the meantime, it's been sent to our county attorney and to our finance supervisor for their review and comment. It's a simple agreement for the transfer of the funds. But moving on to the ordinance, what we would like is the Board of County Commissioners to review the proposed ordinance number SMC-05-12-2020-LED-High Plains Processing LLC. and accept public comment on the proposed ordinance, and then consider adopting the ordinance. The ordinance, the proposed ordinance, was published in the local newspaper twice in the last 2 weeks before this meeting. It was also posted on the county's website, and we have received no comments from anyone in regard to the ordinance. High Plains Processing has been provided with all the documents for their review, and they're okay with all the documents, as well as the Economic Development Department of the state.
Is there any questions from the commission?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
so are we being asked to go into public meeting now, Mr. Topoya?
Oh, well, yes, and I'm not sure how we would do that. There are many people logged on to today's commission meeting. The adoption of an ordinance requires the acceptance of public comment. And we've received no public comment in the office in response to the publication of the proposed ordinance.
So maybe what we could do is turn it over to our attorney, Mr. Romero, and have him give us his input on how we should handle this.
Here's what I recommend, Madam Chairman. Let me, as in a regular meeting.
We can't hear you, Dave.
I
can't hear you, Mr. Romero, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
There's still an echo. Better though.
Okay. What I recommend is let me swear in anybody who has either here, there's nobody here, or has contacted us to testify. If because of the video issues, we don't get anybody, but at least we've gone through the procedure of swearing in anybody who might testify on the matter. So that's what I recommend. Let me go ahead, at the very least, let me swear in Mr. Tafoya. Please raise your hand and state after me.
I, Alex Tafoya,
Do swear to tell the truth
do swear to tell the truth
in my presentation
in my presentation
to the Board of County Commissioners today.
to the Board of County Commissioners today.
So now we will continue to create a record, if any.
Madam Chair.
Mr. Romero, is there anybody that's logged on that would like to say anything in reference to? You might want to ask the question to see if we have anybody that's logged on that might want to comment on this issue.
I don't see anybody, but let me check with Diego in the back room to make sure he doesn't know.
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Garcia?
I noticed that Tim Hageman is here, and I'm sure that he would like to maybe talk about it because he's one of the facilitators in making this project happen, and I'd also like to make some comments.
Well, I think that if there's other people that are going to make comments, Mr. Romero will have to swear them in as well, correct?
Yes, Your Honor, I would prefer to swear anybody that wishes to make comments in for the record.
I'd like to be sworn in, Mr. Attorney.
I'm unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yeah, there's an echo, but I could hear you.
I am unmuted, okay. Anybody who wishes to offer testimony, including the Board of County Commissioners, if you haven't been sworn in, then raise your right hand and state after me. I,
Tim Hageman,
Harold Garcia.
do swear to tell the truth
You swear to
swear to tell the truth
in my presentation
in
to
my
the
in my
Commission tonight.
presentation.
today.
Okay, we have a person by the name of Mr. Hageman
Madam
who
Chair,
is signed in and on our screen. I would like to hear from him first as to what he has to say.
Mr. Attorney, before we proceed, are we closed off the regular meeting and are we back in the public meeting? Because we didn't do that.
I think we moved straight into the public meeting on the agenda.
Okay,
All right.
so then I'll need a motion to move out of regular session.
So moved, Madam Chair.
Motion by Commissioner Garcia, second by Commissioner Nahad. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Do I have a motion to go into public hearing?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Motion by Commissioner Garcia. Do I have a second?
Second by Commissioner Nahad.
Second by Commissioner Nahad. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion
Aye.
carried.
Let me add this for the record. Normally, commissioners are not sworn in. They are the judicial hearing body. But I think it's always safer for building up of any record to have everybody sworn in, including commissioners, and that's why I asked that. So first of all, we'll start with Mr. Hageman, and you've been sworn in, is that right?
Yes, sir.
What is it that you wish to express to the board?
Mr. Romero, Madam Chair, my name is Tim Hageman. I work for the Economic Development Department, and I'm here to stand for any questions that you may have.
Do you have an opinion as to the pros and cons of what is being considered?
Yes, San Miguel County has demonstrated many times passing LEDA ordinances. And today I want to thank Alex Tafoya for reviewing the comments from the department. I will expand on those comments. In addition to the 5 to 3 year term, we have provided additional comments in regards to annual reporting that High Plains Processing will provide to the county. And then lastly, our attorney removed the dispute resolution from the comments that we provided you. So I think that High Plains Processing has provided you all the information to make a decision in regards to the first reading, and look forward to continuing to work with Chip Meston and his wife Joanne to open up the High Plains processing plant in Las Vegas and San Miguel County.
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Nahad?
I have a question for Mr. Hageman, if I can, Counselor, regarding the processing plant.
Yes, go ahead.
My question, Mr. Hageman, is I'm looking at the application for this grant for this amount. And also, are they going to be processing just beef, or are they going to be processing swine and game animals as well?
Madam Chair, Commissioner Nahar, I have been asked that question many, many times. And each time someone asks me a different question on different types of animals. This processing plant is primarily a beef plant, and the kill numbers that they're used in their budget are primarily all beef. I think as time goes on, there'll be other opportunities to provide mutton and other gaming. But at this time, getting beef out is the greatest priority of this company, as we continue to have shortages of beef in our grocery stores. We also have a processing plants in Raton and Springer for game, as well as another meat processing plant in Moriarty. So I think it offers us at least 4 companies that will provide game and beef and pork processing and sheep processing.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Madam
sir.
Chair. Madam Chair, Mr. Hageman, I have a question. Will this company be buying from local ranchers, or do they have a source of their beef?
Madam Chair, Commissioner Varela, it's a good question. We have made various introductions to large ranching and smaller operations in the northeastern New Mexico. They are primarily going to be bringing beef from Colorado and as well as New Mexico. So they look forward to purchasing beef that's produced in San Miguel County also.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hageman, I have a question. To begin the process, about how many jobs will your company create?
Madam Chair, the participation agreement has 20 jobs that this company will create, and there are guidelines and clawback provisions to make sure that they have hired 20 employees, and they have provided wage examples, and there's reporting through the state of New Mexico that proves that they are not providing unemployment or other services through the state to assure that our money that the state of New Mexico and taxpayers are providing will be used appropriately with those guidelines in regards to how many jobs that they have provided.
So you don't have an estimated amount of how many jobs you will begin with?
They're required to provide 20 jobs in the next couple of years.
Okay. Thank
Madam
you.
Chair, Mr. Hageman.
Garcia.
Hageman, I have a question. Since it's going from a 5-year to a 3-year term, is Mr. Chip Meston aware of it, and is he in agreement with it?
We have tried to update Mr. Meston as much as possible, but wanted to run it by your council first to make sure that you feel comfortable with 5 to 3. And after this meeting, we'll notify him that what your decision is in regards to the term. It would be to his benefit to have it at 3 years because the surety bond and other security is required up to $100,000 for that as fiscal agent through the San Miguel County. So the applicant provides the security, and there is some cost involved with that if he chooses a surety bond.
Thank you.
Do you have any other questions?
I would just like to make a comment, Madam Chair.
Commissioner Garcia.
You know, Alex, I'd like to thank you for working on this proposal and on the technicality of the whole issue. I know that we met on this about 4 months ago, and you've been working on it steadily since then, which is exactly what I was hoping for. You know, these are 20 additional jobs that are coming to Las Vegas with a decent wage. And so I'm looking forward to being a part of it. Thank you also, Tim, for helping us get this done.
Any other comments or questions? Do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved, Madam Chair.
So move, Madam Chair.
Motion by Commissioner Garcia, second by Commissioner Nahar.
Yes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Do I have a motion to go back into regular session?
So move, Madam Chair.
Motion by
Second.
Commissioner Varela, second by Commissioner, was that you, Garcia?
Yes.
Commissioner Garcia, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. We move on to item number 9, Amendment 4 to the Food Management Service Agreement.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I think we need to act on the ordinance.
Oh,
Correct?
thank you.
Sure.
Okay, so do we move up? We go back to item number 8. Do I have a motion to approve the ordinance number SMC-05-12-2020
So moved,
LED?
Madam Chair.
Motion by Commissioner Garcia. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Trujillo. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Now we move on to item number 9, Amendment 4 to the Food Management Service Agreement. Presenter, Mr. Matt Alwell. Warden,
Madam Chair, Commissioners, before you today is an extension, a fourth extension to the agreement for food service within the detention center with Summit Foods. This extension was brought about due to the need to put out an RFP, and with the COVID pandemic, that was delayed. This extension not only will give us 6 months to make that RFP process, but it also will allow us a price per meal which below 75. The original contract agreement did not account for meals under 75 detainees, and this extension will cover that. I ask that you review and approve.
do I have any questions? Do I have a motion?
Madam Chair, motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Nahar,
Second.
second by Commissioner Garcia. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We move on to item number 10, Solid Waste Ordinance Update. Gerald Garcia, Public Works Supervisor. Mr. Garcia.
Diego, is Mr. Garcia logged in?
Yes, he is. He just needs to unmute himself.
Yeah, he is logged in. I can see him. He's talking, but we can't hear him.
I can't hear him.
Can somebody give him a call or send him a text and let him know we cannot hear him?
I just sent him a text. Let's see. Gerald. Cannot hear him. Arnold, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here. Yes, sir, I'm here.
What we'll do is do you want to just move on to, well, Gerald is number 11 to 12. If we can get a hold of him, should we skip all those?
Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Okay, so I lost my video, but you can hear me audibly.
Yes.
Okay, so I guess that would have to suffice for now, if that's okay with you. Good afternoon, Commissioners, Madam Chair. So the information you have in front of you is for solid waste ordinance update. I've been directed to revamp our ordinance in regards to implementing a fee system, which is going to become a prepaid punch card system. In front of you, you should probably have a 12, 13-page document, and it's the first draft. It's been given out to several people for review, and this is not really all my work. It's taking bits and pieces from what other counties are doing, and this all kind of has come up. Recently, we had an Earth Day, and and we put out a couple of bins. And if you're familiar where King's Dome is behind Camp Luna, we filled up huge 30, 40-yard bins within hours, I'm sure, or throughout the day. But it was kind of like a free-for-all. From my estimation, we have about 60% of our county residents do not pay their solid waste bill. So we're basically been operating in the red. So the recreation of a new ordinance, which is a prepaid punch card system, is coming forward. A lot of people had some input into it already, and I'm still in the process of doing a rate change, a study of rates for what we should be charging. We have to also understand that here in San Miguel County, we don't have a landfill, so we actually have to transfer all our solid waste to Santa Fe, or we have to drive up to Wagon Mountain to dispose of in our landfill. That is a cost. After having conversations with other individuals, people say, well, it's trash. Why do I want to pay for trash? It's really the disposal of trash, and it's a cost, and it's expensive. And we've always been taking money out of our general account to help subsidize solid waste, and it's going to do two things. When people have to go buy a punch card system, they'll have to go to the courthouse and buy a card, and then that eliminates individual counts in terms of after paying. So when people go throw their trash, they're not going to receive a bill in the mail. They're going to basically be a punch card where the convenience centers are going to punch their cards, and it's a prepaid. So and I think that's going to do two things. It's either going to force individual residents to buy a card, or for a while, it might increase some of our legal dumping. But we do have to, it's been pretty effective with a lot of other counties. And so this is something that we want to try to move forward. So this presentation is an information only, but I certainly, if you have any suggestions or comments that would be very helpful in the development and second draft of this ordinance, that would be very helpful. I'll take any questions at this time.
Okay, Madam Chair, Mr. Garcia, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, would this be, you said that a person can go into the office in Las Vegas to purchase the card. Will there be options to purchase it online or on the phone, so people won't have to drive there from this part of the county if it's hard for them?
So yes, ma'am. So there is language in the ordinance where the county manager can negotiate some of our local stores there in Pecos for a person to go buy them there at say at Ponchos or the Inn of Pecos, the old Inn of Pecos, Gregos. So with that language is in there, that has to be negotiated with those entities. But yes, I had taken that in consideration because I do understand it could be an issue to drive all the way to Las Vegas to buy a card, a prepaid punch card.
Thank you for that.
I have a question, Madam Chair.
Commissioner Garcia.
Gerald, several months ago when you got hired, we met about this. And actually when Commissioner Trujillo and I took office, one of the directives that we gave our county manager was to look at revisiting the solid waste operations. And, you know, part of that included maybe looking at changing the way that the solid waste is being done. because I know that 30-yard containers right now, 40-yard containers right now are not going full to capacity to the landfill. And so instead of making 2 trips, a truck is probably making 4 trips. And it's the cost of operating the solid waste right now is being subsidized by about $200,000 by the general fund. And so we've met about this, and when we met several months ago, I don't know how long you've been on board, but the directive was given that we were going to hire a consultant, and there's still that issue about hiring a consultant that's going to help us look at the solid waste operation so that we could come up with a plan that is going to take us into the future of maybe changing the system that we have right now. What's the status on that? Because if you're working on the ordinance right now, but we don't have anyone helping us work on the operation part of it, how are these two going to work hand in hand as far as the ordinance matching what the operation is?
Yeah, so yes, I'd like to address that. So I am still in communication with our consultant. His name is Joseph Limbowski, and I have already received a purchase order to hire him and obtain services from him. So I do have that. I have talked to the county manager in regards to that. We are going to be using him in regards to developing the operation of the new ordinance. So that's still in place. That has not gone away. So, and I have met and talked with the gentleman on a couple occasions. He came once to Las Vegas and another time on the phone, where we talked at length about the operation, and he's on board. I mean, that's not going to go away. So it is in development of that as well.
Okay, so how are we going to match his service with what you're doing right now?
So he is a consultant, so he would just give, I mean, we're going to put all the, once we can really get out of this pandemic, we're going to be actually getting everybody together and talking about the solid waste operation, because there's a lot of people involved in it, with it. So with his recommendations and a development of a new ordinance, you have to understand that this new ordinance, if you will, does not take away the responsibility of individuals who have existing bills in solid waste. We have individuals for years and years not paying their solid waste bill, and it does not, this new ordinance would not take away the responsibility of those individuals for paying. So we're going to link the new ordinance with the consultant for the ideas and the development of the operation. And that's why this is just information only. It's a first draft, and so I wanted to make sure that that you had at least information leading up to what could be a potential new ordinance.
Okay, one more question.
Yes, sir.
How are we going to include what the IT office is doing with regards to billing and all that with the ordinance? Have you visited with the IT staff to make sure that, first of all, we have Mr. Lewandowski, who is a consultant. We have you, who is the director of the operation, and then we have Diego and his staff that are helping us with the billing component of it. And then we also have the treasurer's office that are doing the collections. How are we going to be able to merge those four successfully?
So I've been working with Desiree. I mean, her and I've been, I mean, and she's a gem. She has a lot of great ideas. She'll be the person that's really doing a lot of the billing part. Her and I have been talking about what are some of the what if parts of what's going on in solid waste. I mean, and the treasurers, they're still going to be the collection part. For those who still need to purchase a prepaid punch card, that office will handle those cards, and so all the collection comes out of there still. I mean, it's still this is still a developing thing for that. So yes, I just wanted to make sure that I'm working with those. But yeah, Desiree, I've been working with Desiree in the billing, and I haven't really worked too much in the collection part because we're just trying to put it all together. But I have been working with those departments.
Thank you, Gerald. This sounds good.
Yeah, no, as we develop more, I want to keep everybody in the loop in this, and that was the whole reason of presenting an informational draft of solid waste ordinance. So, but we really do have to do something. We're sinking in debt in solid waste, and so hopefully this might connect with people to get out there and pay for their trash, if you will.
Any further questions, comments? I do have a comment. I remember when Commissioner Trujillo and Commissioner Garcia did come on board, and we had spoke about having a day where we were going to have like a trash cleanup day where people could throw their trash, refrigerators, stuff free of charge. Whatever happened with that day?
So we can still do that. Those days are called like Amnesty Days, where yes. the county would provide several bins, and people can go throw their trash and metal or tires or whatever. We're still going to develop that. I know that's been also brought in the Pecos area to have that kind of a day. Just so you know, though, I mean, to throw a refrigerator, we have to dispose of a refrigerator. That costs the county every time a resident. For us to dispose of that refrigerator, it costs us $40 to take it to Wagon Mound, each individual refrigerator. So there's a cost to everything. I think it's great that we offer Amnesty Days to residents, but there is a cost to having those as well. Same thing with tires. We don't take some of the other hazardous waste like oils or batteries, but that's why I'm so glad to see this recycling to try to happen, to try to curb some of the trash that we have. But yeah, we can more than welcome to have some of those amnesty. I know it's been talked about in Tecolote to have an amnesty and put a bin out there, but it does become a free-for-all, and so I understand, people want to get rid of their trash, but there is an expense to it.
And I understand that, but I think we need to follow through on what we had planned on doing to try to clean up our community and our counties, because I mean, it'll make our county and it'll make our people want to tour our place a little bit better if our county is cleaned up a little bit more. And that's why I'm advocating on behalf of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, any suggestions where you think we could have an amnesty day, and we'll put some bins out there and we'll let the community know that these are them to dispose of their even out of ordinary household trash, not bags. Maybe it'd be something where they need to really dispose. We can have certain bins for different things. I'm all for that.
And I also had I don't know if it's a question or a comment in reference to Mr. Garcia. You stated that the BIMs are being transported to Wagon Mount, not completely full.
No. Commissioner Garcia. So the trash does get compacted. I mean, the guys are always there with the backhoes, and they're always compacting the trash, because we do want to eliminate rounds to Wagon Mound or Santa Fe, depending if it's a compactor. But I can't really think of any day that the trash hasn't been compacted. And I know Mr. Lopez, the road foreman, he could attest that the guys are always compacting so we can minimize our loads to Wagon Mound.
I'll give you an example. Madam Chair, I'll give you an example. We have a bear-proof container up in Gallinas that doesn't get compacted. There's no way that it could get compacted because it's an enclosed container. And that container probably, I'm gonna guess, if you're hauling double containers to Wagon Mound, the Class A allowance is 80,000 pounds. And I bet, I'd be willing to challenge the tickets. I bet that we don't have tickets that weigh 80,000 pounds all the time. So that's the only concern I have. I think that we have a way to revisit the whole operation and maybe come up with a better method of having the solid waste program be what it should be.
And I think that the reason that I'm asking that question is I mean, when we identify an issue or a concern, you know, have you followed through in speaking with Mr. Garcia or Mr. Lopez to assure that they're following through on assuring that, you know, these BIMs aren't going halfway full to where they have to go, you know, and it's costing the county more money? You know, have you, as a commissioner, have you followed up with them and spoken to them in reference to what you feel is not occurring?
Yes, I have many times. I've visited with the county manager as well many times on it.
Madam Chair, if I may, it's Arnold. Can I respond to this?
Sure.
Okay, so for information, so we have a loading dock at Public Works, and it's a concrete area that contains, you know, what we're using it for is to contain the trash. So we get our 30s, okay, 30-yard containers come into the facility, and we bring them in from San Miguel, Bernal, Hillfield. All these areas do not receive compaction. So what we do when they come in, not that day, but first thing in the morning, because of wind situations, we dump them inside this concrete area. Okay, we stage 40-yard bins within that area. So then we use the loader to load trash, which is laying on the concrete slab, and we put it into 40-yard containers. We have the backhoe stage compacting them. So these bins, we do not take any 30s to Wagamount anymore and have not been doing that for quite some time. I implemented this process probably a couple of years ago, and it's worked really well. So everything that comes in that has not been compacted or is light loads all gets transferred into 40-yard containers, compacted to capacity, regardless of the weight, but they're to volume capacity. The bare bin that comes in from Gallinas is also dumped on the slab because, as Harold said, and he is accurate, that bin up there, a bare bin, has no way of compacting it or even you know, any way of settling to occur. So when it comes in, you know, and that's usually every 2 weeks, that is also dumped in the concrete slab, and it is transferred again from the bare bin to a 40-yard bin, which is our highest capacity holding bins, and it is compacted with other trash, possibly the bare bin, 2 or 3 other 30s. Our compactor truck, which we do the small 3-yard route with, is also no longer utilized to go to Wagamount because of its capacity is minimal. And what we do even with our compacting truck, we dump it on the concrete slab, transfer it again to 40-yard bins, and it is then transferred to Wagamount in a compacted form. And again, these bins are to capacity, doesn't matter what the weight is, and they average, you know, they can average 10 tons, you know, which is 20,000. They can average, depending if there's the debris that are thrown, if there's more solid materials, they can vary up to, you know, 20,000, 30,000, whatever it is, but they are hauled to capacity now.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez, for clarifying that. Appreciate it. Any questions or comments on that?
Madam Chair?
Commissioner Trujillo?
Can I maybe make a suggestion maybe for the month of June, starting early June, that we start rotating these 30-yard containers, open containers, to different convenience centers throughout the county? Maybe one week in Rociada, one week in Gallinas, one in Tecolote, you know, and just kind of rotate them and maybe find a way to let the public know that we're allowing this. I think that would be a good, you know, there's a lot of people staying at home now, working from home, and you know, this would be a good time for people to clean up their yards and try to help the situation. And I don't know if that's even possible, or we need a resolution to do that, but it's a suggestion.
Any other questions, comments, or concerns? Okay, so thank you. We'll look at that. I guess we can probably, maybe you could talk to Mr. Garcia and Mr. Lopez to see if that's possible. I mean, you've already mentioned it to them, so maybe they'll reach out to you and see if we can do that. That's a very good idea, though. Okay, so we'll move on to item number 11, commercial driver's license, medical card policy for San Miguel County Public Works Operation Division. Mr. Miguel Garcia, Public Works Director.
Yes, thank you, Commissioners and Madam Chair. So in front of you, you have, so I put together a policy which is for CDL license holders, where they have to have a medical card which medically certifies them individually from our for being a driver. And I just wanted to make sure to provide an $80 stipend to each individual who drives for San Miguel County. And this stipend will only happen every 2 years to each employee that is required to carry a commercial driver's license medical card. And I would like to implement this, so it's a stipend once every 2 years for $80. And I would like to seek approval for that.
Do I have any questions? Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve, Madam Chair.
Motion by Commissioner Varela. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Trujillo. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you. We move on to item 12, Public Works Division Report for the month of April 2020. Presenter, Mr. Arnold Lopez.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So good afternoon again. We're here with our Public Works Division report for the month of April. You know, we've had the crews busy throughout the county. We've had really good weather. We've been applying material in various county roads, trying to spread it out throughout the districts. Currently, we've been hauling material to the Zacatosa area and the Gonzalez Ranch area. We've applied some also to up in Las Despensas recently. We have Johnny Trujillo. He just finished the maintenance in the Despensas area. We will be starting a project up there tomorrow, hauling some material with a local contractor on a $20,000 appropriation that we had. Peter is still working the Zacatosa area and applying material there. Juan Mesias, we had a little complication with his motor grader, so it's been down a few days. It's scheduled for repair for tomorrow in the air conditioning area. And once we finish with him, we're going to be transferring him over to the Conchas area. Got a bunch of our maintenance that we got to pull over in that area. And crews have been busy. We've installed several kettle guards in different areas, culverts. But I'll stand for any questions if you have any questions or concerns.
Mr. Lopez, I would like to ask, can we be provided with a project update as to projects that are occurring within our county now?
Gerald, you want me to defer that question to you, or?
Go ahead, Arnold.
Okay, so you know, our projects, basically we don't have anything started at this point. We are in kind of in the procurement stage of it. We've requested different sources of quotes. Basically, some of our projects have gone out to bid. We're currently advertised for Panda Ray's project is advertised, and we'll be going out to bid within a couple of weeks. San Agustin project that we awarded, you know, say about a month and a half ago. That contractor is currently getting materials ready, and I spoke to him, and it looks like hopefully in a couple of weeks they'll be constructing that new water crossing over in San Agustin. You think what else? Sheridan is also in the stage of awaiting POs. We've submitted for POs. Gerald's been handling that, and the negotiation with GM Emulsions. And any other particular questions that you have in mind, projects or?
So I guess my question is about Sheridan, because that's in my district. I think why has the process taken so long? I mean, this project was awarded some time ago and we still haven't moved on it. Like what's the holdup?
Do you want to answer that, Gerald, or?
Yes, sir. So, Madam Chair, so just as of last week, we just barely got some of the insurances back from the contractor that we were waiting. Miller Engineering is the project manager for Sheridan. And so we just got some of that paperwork, and we should be starting that project here very shortly. So it was just a matter of getting some of that paperwork in from the contractor, and that's how it is with some of that. As Arnold stated, we do have some procurement going on because we did go through some state pricing agreements. So we're working that with finance and GM Emulsions. And like as of tomorrow, I mean, we're working on 8.2 and 8.3. That's what Las Despensas. We're working on the road tomorrow, as Arnold has worked it out with Rocky Road to go ahead and start. They were the lowest bidder, and we will be starting that project tomorrow. So some projects are moving. It's been because we've been having to do a lot of stuff virtual. It's been a little tougher to do, but we're managing. But these projects are starting to happen now. In fact, right now on my board in my office, I have 14 projects moving, and at some stage they're moving with either through paperwork or starting to move the machinery.
I guess it's just I don't want us to take the chance of losing any of these monies. Another question I have is I know we were awarded to do some work for Gonzalez Ranch. Where are we with that on getting bids for that job for Gonzalez Ranch?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I was just going to ask about that. That's in my district.
Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry, but I've been asked about that one too now that I've been talking to people. So
we're looking to start those projects here in the next 2 or 3 weeks. That's actually one of the projects that was awarded through the state pricing agreement. We went through the state pricing agreement, and so we're working out the procurement of it through finance. So that should be starting here pretty quickly because GM Emulsions, the contractor, is looking to hopefully work maybe 4 or 5 of our road projects, and we're trying to keep them here to do all the projects at once. So between that and Chapel, because that's another state pricing agreement, we're gonna try to get those the monies encumbered in a purchase order so we can start those projects here pretty quickly. I've been working with finance on those projects.
okay, so when you say state pricing agreement, what do you mean by that? Is that is that a vendor or what is? Can you clarify a little bit on that?
Arnold, can you talk a little bit about state pricing agreement versus going out to bid?
So basically what it's general services contract is what it's called. It's not particularly like a price agreement, but and this is the first time that this is utilized. So I really don't know a whole lot about it. What I can tell you, and maybe if Melinda could chime in on this as well, but the little bit that I know about it, it's a source of being able to hire a contractor that's actually registered as a contractor with this source, and it's prices that have been negotiated with the state, and it's available to different entities to use this type of service and acquire. I guess it's a different way of acquiring services without going through the bid process, basically.
I guess the question that I have, so if we're using the state pricing agreement, does that eliminate our businesses in the community of San Miguel from, bidding out these jobs? So is that taking work from our people here in San Miguel County? That's my question.
Madam Chair, I don't really know how to, this is Melinda, I'm not really sure how to answer that particular question. But just to give you a little bit of background on GM Emulsion, Public Works has used them before with a CES contract. The statewide price agreement that they're utilizing now what they do is the state has negotiated some man hours and materials. There's no discount. So what we're really trying to do is have GM Emulsion lay out their quotes so we can look at the price per unit for what it is that they're charging for material, because material cost is quite high, which could be very reasonable, but we just want to be able to validate that the cost is a good cost for the materials that we're getting. But yes, in utilizing a statewide price agreement, that's one of the options that we have for purchasing. And if we do go that route, yes, a vendor is getting selected through that means, and we're going directly with them rather than having competition with anybody. The competition has already been vetted through the state of New Mexico, through that state price agreement.
So in other words, it's not giving opportunity to our agencies within San Miguel County to bid for these jobs, correct?
Madam Chair and Commissioners, not if we go directly with a contractor.
Okay,
that's
thank
on
you.
a state price agreement.
I mean, I find that a little hard just because, you know, our people from San Miguel County should be working in San Miguel County. And if we're not giving them the opportunity to bid on these jobs, we're getting companies from out of San Miguel County to come and do work that we have qualified people to do here in San Miguel County. I have a little bit of a problem with that.
So, Madam Chair, this is Gerald Garcia. So if I may address that. So there has been concern among Public Works and even commissioners at will about having some of the quality of our products that are coming out from some of our road projects. So I did we'll say with Gonzales Ranch Road, I did talk to Commissioner Varela in regards to this, and told her what the process was. And so, because we really felt that we wanted a quality product in the end for the road, in talking with Commissioner Varela, she agreed about having a quality product, and I'm all for giving projects to our local vendors in San Miguel County. But I also feel that we have a due diligence to taxpayers to have a quality product for the people of San Miguel County.
So what you're saying is that the people that are working here do not do a good job, or, I mean.
So some of the projects that we have one existing right now on H3 extension, it's the product, the aggregate in the asphalt is coming apart. It's coming apart, and we still need corrective action on that particular project, and it hasn't been done. And so sometimes our products don't come out as good as so this was brought up that maybe we could try something different and see how we can really make good products, good quality roads for our residents.
Okay.
So this was all been in conversation that I had with Commissioner Varela for particular Gonzales Ranch Road. In the case of Sheridan Road, that's in your district, that went out to bid, and that was awarded already as approved at last month's commission meeting.
Yes, I'm aware of that.
Okay.
Anybody have any other comments, questions?
I do, Madam Chair, and thank you. Do those contractors have that are in Las Vegas that Chair Martinez is talking about, do they have an opportunity to participate in the pricing agreement through the state? Do you know?
So if you have a vendor that is through the pricing agreement and has gone through the state of New Mexico to be a qualified vendor through the state pricing agreement, they can. If we choose, it's like if you were using CES, they take all the procurement out of it, you know, because you pay that 1.5% to use CES services. So if they belong to that, then they can be part of that, and anybody in the state of New Mexico can use their services.
Great, thank you for that. I have one more question. Thank you very much, Mr. Lopez and Mr. Garcia, and thank you for the work that you've been doing continued in the district. And on Cow Creek Road, have you been able to continue to bring gravel there into Colonias to the road past Birds of the Feather going closer to the village of Colonias. Have you been able to continued that work and bring gravel?
Commissioner
Arnold Lopez, go ahead.
Yes, Commissioner Varela, last time that we were there doing the maintenance on that road, yes, we did apply material and we'll continue applying every time that we go to do maintenance. So we will continue to apply. There's areas still that are in need, but in the Cow Creek area, we did cover the rocky area that was posing some hazardous driving, and that got addressed in the last previous maintenance that we did there.
Thank you so much for your continued work. And I'll be contacting both of you gentlemen so we could work on the ICIP list. I volunteered to be on the committee. So let me know what works for you. We can set up a time to work on that.
Madam Chair, if I may,
Melinda?
Just so you know, because this Gonzalez Road project is such a large project, Public Works also reached out to the Department of Transportation just to make sure that the state is okay with them utilizing an existing contract rather than going out for bid. And from what I understand, the state did acknowledge that we could use an existing contract. So just so you know that that was done as well.
Okay, and it's just my, the practice, since I've been a commissioner, the practice has been to utilize, the practice of the county has been to utilize local contractors. And I guess it's just all of a sudden I see a change, and I was for utilizing our local contractors because it keeps our people that reside in San Miguel County working. So that was the reason I was asking all those questions, because I like our people that live in San Miguel County to remain working in San Miguel County and not to have to travel out of San Miguel County to Santa Fe County or to other counties to work, to seek employment. I like to try to keep our people that live here working here.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Melinda.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
We'll move on to item number, we're on 13, right, everybody?
Yes, Board of Finance.
Okay. We'll move on to item number 13, bank transfer for the month of March. Ms. Bertha Bustamante, County Treasurer.
Madam Chair and Commissioners, Ms. Bustamante indicated that she would be out of town today, so she asked that I please present the transfers. So you were provided with the transfers that were made during the month of March. There were 5 of them. 2 of them had to do with payroll transfers from our general and the detention accounts to our payroll account. Another transfer from our fire and detention accounts to the general account as a result of copier cost allocations. A transfer from our housing account to the Bernalillo County housing account that they have for us for the April HAP, and then a transfer from the general to the fire account as the general account had received an EMNRD reimbursement that belonged to the fire department. So those were the transfers that were made.
Any questions? Thank you, Ms. Melinda.
Yes,
we move on to item number 14, resolution 2019-05-29-F2, establishing the fiscal year 2021 interim budget. Ms. Melinda Gonzalez.
Madam Chair and Commissioners, our interim budget is usually due, or it still is due, by the end of May. So what typically happens is in late April, early May, we meet with all the departments, and the departments provide to us what they're hoping or requesting to spend for that next fiscal year. Because of the whole COVID situation, the Department of Finance and Administration met with the managers and the finance officers to discuss the interim 2021 budget. And they know that we're unable to meet collectively. So what they're going to allow us to do is to make a copy of the 1920 interim budget and submit it as our fiscal year 2021 budget. In saying that, that's pretty much what we did. We used that as a base. However, there were some changes that we did make, knowing some factual information, and we made those changes. We have no idea right now what the impact to gross receipt tax revenues and motor vehicle tax revenues are going to be. The last distribution that we received was in April, and that was for February transactions. So that wasn't any kind of picture. And now In May 15th, we'll be getting a distribution that goes back to the month of March. So we might be seeing some decline in revenue at that point in time, but it's probably still not going to paint a really good picture. But in saying that, we did keep the interim 1920 gross receipt taxes. We're going to keep on keeping an eye and decreasing as we go on. At the end of July, we'll have to submit a final budget. That final budget will have to be presented with reconciled cash balances. And at that point, we'll know or have a better idea of what the impact for the gross receipt taxes are. Right now, DFA has lifted any requirements for us to maintain a 3/12 reserve requirement. We cannot go into a negative cash balance, and we're not, but we are going to go a little bit below our normal 3/12 reserve requirement. And then again, we're going to just look at the budget and see where we are. In 1920, during our interim budget, the gross receipt taxes were budgeted conservatively, and throughout the year, we saw a significant increase. So for this year, we should be okay. We might still have an impact and where we barely meet what was budgeted during the interim, but we're going to be fairly close, I'm thinking. But again, this is just something for us to meet the statutory requirement to submit an interim budget by the end of May. And again, once we're reconciled, we'll be submitting a final budget. And at some point, Dr. Martinez and I will meet with the departments to discuss their budgets or interim budgets and any changes that we anticipate having to make for the final budget. And we'll make sure to keep you informed, of course. And we just ask, and all departments are really working well with us and just making sure that there's not any unnecessary spending. I mean, they never have unnecessary spending, but they're really just doing the best they can with the resources that we have. So in saying that, I'm providing you an interim budget for 2021. There's 4 different items that were presented. One is the interim resolution. Another one is a recap by fund showing what our anticipated beginning cash balances are and all the revenues and transfers in and out expenditures. Then we have a detailed line by line budget presented to you. It's 58 pages, and then a transfer page showing you all the transfers that are being made within or amongst all of the funds, all the funds.
Are there any questions? Do I have a motion?
Good job, Melinda and your staff. Thank you for taking care of our budget, and I continue to be able to rest knowing you're doing this great job. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Brenda.
Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve, Madam Chair.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Nahad, second by Commissioner Varela. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, you touched a little bit on item 15, correct?
Item 15, Madam Chair and Commissioners, is a resolution affecting fiscal year 1920. It's a budget adjustment resolution affecting this particular year that we're in. And just to kind of let you know what's going on here, we received 2 EMNRD grants. One of them was awarded to the Sheridan Volunteer Fire Department in the amount of $17,866 for the purchase of personnel protection equipment and firefighting equipment pertaining to wildland firefighting. We also received a grant from EMNRD for $15,595 for the Trementina Volunteer Fire Department for the same type of items, PPE, FFE, pertaining to wildland firefighting.
Do I have a motion, or is there any questions should I ask first? Do I have a motion to approve?
So move.
Motion by Commissioner Garcia.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Trujillo. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Melinda. We move on to item number 16, Accounts Payable Report for the month of March 2020. Ms. Melinda?
Madam Chair and Commissioners, you'll have 2 reports in front of you. One of the reports comes off of our Tyler system showing all the payments that were made for the month of March. And the second report is a report from Bernalillo County showing all the payments that they made on behalf of us for the month, for the cash month of March.
Any questions? Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Varela,
Second.
second by Commissioner Trujillo. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. We move on to item 17, receipt report for the month of March 2020. Information only, Ms. Melinda.
Madam Chair and Commissioners, this is the report that I provide to you on a monthly basis. It reflects all the receipts that were received by our Treasurer's Office during that particular month.
Do we have any questions? Thank you, Ms. Melinda. We move on to item 18, journal entry report for the month of March 2020.
Madam Chair and Commissioners, this report shows all the journal entries that were physically made during the month of March 2020, regardless of the period that it affects. And it's for informational purposes only, and it consists of 37 pages.
Any questions? Thank you, Ms. Melinda. We move on to item 19, cash balance report for the month of March 2020. Ms. Melinda.
Madam Chair and Commissioners, this report reflects the reconciled cash balances as of the end of March for all the funds that we have.
Any questions? We move on to item 20, budget report for the period of January 1st, 2019 through March 31st, 2020. Ms. Melinda.
Madam Chair and Commissioners, this report is from the beginning of the fiscal year through March. It shows you all the line by line item detail, shows you what the original budget is, what the current budget is, period activity, fiscal year activity, and any encumbrances and variances that we have regarding the budget. This particular budget was also used in formulating our third quarter budget report that was submitted to the Department of Finance and Administration. I'll be providing you with a copy of what was submitted to them during our June meeting.
Any questions? In closing, I would just like to tell everybody to stay healthy and safe, and we'll have a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn by Commissioner Varela, second by Commissioner Trujillo. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Be safe.